Bonjour classe, aujourd'hui c'est lundi le 26 November, and I know that I had a few of you who are absent today, so I hope that everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving break, but we need to jump right back into it. Okay, so today, first thing of course we did our warm-up, so I'm going to go to my weekly warm-ups page. I'm going to click on the warm-ups for this week. And today was a pretty easy warm-up. You go to page 54 of your notebook. You write about your Thanksgiving break. Did you go anywhere? If so, where? What did you eat? What was your most memorable moment? Guess what? You can make something up or keep it honest. It's up to you. You can be creative in your storytelling. Use your imagination. You must fill the entire page. And then you can title it, My Thanksgiving Break went something like this. So we had 10 minutes to write, and then those who wanted to share could share. And of course, I am going to be checking that you wrote this, even if you've been absent. You are still responsible for all the warm-ups. So once we did that, then we went and took some notes. So I'm going to go to French 2 pre-AP Notes and Activities. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on Notes on the verb être. So, we talked about the verb être, the fact that it is an irregular verb. It is our being verb. We've already been using it some, like whenever we used the form je suis. We used it when we wanted to introduce ourselves, like Je suis Madame Pique. We've used We've used il est, elle est for when we described our teachers, when we talked about whether or not our teacher was funny, smart. We also used il est and elle est to talk about our classes, our favorite classes, why we liked them. J'aime beaucoup la biologie parce qu'elle est intéressante, for example. You've used nous sommes before, but in a little bit different way. When we used it to talk about what day it is, we asked the question, quel jour sommes-nous? And we answered with nous sommes, like nous sommes lundi. Okay, so we, next thing we did, we put these on page 55 of your notebook. We copied these notes down onto page 55 of your notebook. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in so I don't forget. Let's see, page 55 of your notebook. All right, and you will also be able to find these notes if you look in your textbook on page 132. So we copied down the verb, we copied it down in a table form. I had them draw a table on their page 55, and then we copied down the forms of the verb être. Je suis. Je suis. Tu es. Tu es. Il est. Il est. Elle est. Elle est. On est. On est. Nous sommes. Nous sommes. Vous êtes. Vous êtes. Ils sont. Ils sont. Elles sont. Elles sont. So we copied the verb down, we pronounced it, and then we talked about 3 different situations in which we use the verb être. One is when we talk about describing people, places, and things, when we use adjectives. Remember when we talked again about our teachers or our favorite classes, we described them and we used the form of the verb être that matched our subject. So Alex est intelligent. Alex is smart. We can agree that we are describing Alex as being intelligent. So we're using an adjective, we're using the verb être. Sarah est drôle. Sarah is funny. Another example of using être to describe someone. To say where we are, we use it to talk about location. We're in the classroom. Johnny's at school. Sophie is at the cafe. Okay? So an example I gave was nous sommes dans la salle de classe. We are in the classroom. This is showing location, where we are, using the being verb, être. To say where we are from, we can talk about where we're from by using the verb être. Kayla et Skylar sont d'Alvin. Kayla and Skylar are from Alvin. Je suis de Louisiane. I am from Louisiana. So, these are the three situations in which we use the verb être, and we're going to be working with these for the rest of the week, the forms of the verb être. So you need to make sure that you get these notes onto page 55 of your notebook. All right. Then the next thing we did was we did a handout that was kind of cool, and it looks like this. You have one in the folder. We filled in this little grid with the forms of the verb être. Notice that it looks kind of like our table here. All right? We have one blank for je suis, one for tu es, but notice that the third one has all three forms, il, elle, and on, and then est. So here is the same thing. Je suis, tu es, then we have il, elle, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, and then il and elle sont. This grid looks just like this table in that you're going to fill it in just like you did here in your notebook. All right, then we came and we looked at this one where we had to highlight the infinitive verb that means to be. You are to find this verb right here, être, in there and circle it or highlight it. Numéro 3, conjugate. When it says to conjugate, what we're doing is we are taking the subject pronoun that they give, and then we are putting être in the present tense form that goes with il. So since I can't type on this, I'm going to go back and show you that you wrote it down. So here's il, so here's être, our infinitive. So that means that the form of être that goes with il is est. So here you're going to write il est. When it says to translate, you're going from English to French, so they are. So if you go back, you'll notice they are is here, so you can write ils sont, or you can write elles sont, or you can write both. It doesn't matter, but that's going to go there. Again, conjugate. One more time. You're taking the subject pronoun they give you, you're writing it in the blank, and then you're going to find the form of être that goes with nous. Well, once you've copied it in this grid, you can just look over here and see what that form is. But I'll have to go over here because I can't type it in there. So it would be some, so nous sommes. You're going to do that for all of them. Here, write a sentence in French with the verb être. You're going to write a sentence using être in the present tense form, making sure that the form matches the subject, whatever subject you use. You can describe someone like we did in the first situation. You can say where someone is, like in the second situation, or you can say where someone is from in the third situation and put it here in the blank. Again, you're going to continue to conjugate or translate whatever the instructions say to do. Here's the Sudoku. Now the Sudoku, if you've never done it before, I made this one extra credit, but I want you to try. The object here is to fill in the squares with the forms of être that are missing from each block, okay? Like here's est, some, and est, which means that we're missing suis and et and sont. But we don't know which squares they can go in because they can't be in a row or column where there's the same form. Like if I wanted to type in suis here, I couldn't because there's suis right there. So I know that it has to go in one of these two. And so I pick a square and I write it in. But then again, we have to make sure that we don't put et in the same row that there's an et, which means that it looks like suis is going to go here, and son is going to, or maybe suis goes there and son goes there and et goes there. Anyway, I have it done, and I can show you the first square, but I don't want to give you the whole thing because I want you to try and do it for extra credit. It's 10 extra credit points on this part. So that's what we did today. I hope that you watch this video, and I hope that you get something out of it. And I am grading this, okay? You're going to glue this into page 56 of your notebook. This is going to go into page 56 of your notebook. Bon après-midi. Au revoir.